Go.
Hello, everybody. Thanks again for tuning to The Impact. I'm your boy, Big Chuck, and I'm hosting again tonight. So, tonight, we got someone very special for you. We have a man that plays a crucial role in the whole Filthy Rags outreach thing. He's been there from the beginning, from the inception of it. This young man has come up with different concepts, different programs to propel Filthy Rags forward. So without further ado, I want to introduce each and every person out there to Mr. Davven, LG Davenport. LG, man, what's up, bro? How you doing today?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me. How you doing?
Hey, listen, man. It's always a privilege and an honor, man, to spend time with you, man. So before we get started, I want to tell everybody just a little bit of backstory about LG and myself. So when I first met LG, I see him moving around on the counter, and I'm like, who in the world is this big youngster running around in here, right? So for all who don't know, LG is over 6'2" tall. He's over 6'2", right? And I see him, and I'm just like, man, who is this cat, right? And I'm just like, okay, I see him, but I meet his brother first. And his brother is about just as big as he is. But his brother's a little bit wilder than he is. And I'm just like, okay, so it's another one of these guys? But
right.
I had the privilege of watching you mature into the man that you are today, right? And I really appreciate your growth, bro. I really do, right? But what I want to know, what I want you to explain to the people is, so listen, so let's go back to the beginning. So as a young gang member, right, street cat, running the streets all your life, right? You get in some trouble, you come to prison, you get hit with a sentence, right? When did you understand that, you know what, I really need to give my life to the Lord? But then what was it like for you to transition from being the hood fella to the God man?
So
what was that transition like for you?
Okay. I want to back up.
Okay.
My intro to not even understanding who God is, what faith is, anything. So we should go to this church called By His Word, somewhere like on 112, somewhere like that in Tacoma. And so, little kid don't know too much of nothing. Little kids, I'm falling asleep. I don't know nothing about none of this. And so we had this thing in the hood called Snoopy Club. But what they used to do, they used to come around the school bus and pick up all the kids in the neighborhood, take us to the church. Still don't know where it's at to this day. But they used to take us out there with, like a little event, have fun and all stuff. So it was like a God saying, hey, what's up? I'm here. And so I remember there was a time where my mom had a Bible on the table. I didn't know what it was. So I opened it, but it looked like it was a different language. And so I immediately closed the book, put it back. And so I caught a case on the juvenile. My last time I got locked up in a juvenile, I got locked up for 2 robbery ones, and I was in there begging, my God, please don't let me do all of this time. They trying to have I'm 16. They at least want me to do a year apiece for these robberies. And so I promised God, I'm like, God, man, if you get me up off of this, I'll be smooth. I'll be good. So I got a slap on the wrist. Did 4 months. I got out after I finished. My fifth, which is like curfew. I was immediately back with the homies, back in the stolen car, back at it. So then I caught this case. I tried to do the same thing, begging and pleading.
So how old were you? Hold on for a second. How old were you when you caught this case?
I was 19.
Okay. All right.
So
okay,
19.
Go. So you back at it, and you begging and pleading.
Yeah, so I'm begging and pleading. But it was not the same. It didn't even feel the same. It felt like God was hearing me, but He wasn't really listening. So I felt it, but I didn't. But it seemed like He wanted a different look. And so I get sentenced. I get found guilty. I get 564 months and 47 years. And when I got sentenced, I got to prison. And I was so confused. I got to prison, was like, man, you know what? I'm going back to how I was raised. I'm finna thug it out. I don't know any other way. It's like resort. So, go all these years. 2017. I'm in the hole. I'm in honest fuel. And I'm having a conversation. So my wife comes to see me. She had this look on her face. I'm thinking to myself, like, man, like something got to give. I don't want to be 63 when I get out of prison. So I had a conversation with my daughter. My daughter's my princess. She asked me, she's like, hey, Dad, are you gonna be like this forever? That moment was my crossroad. I got back to that cell. I didn't have a TV, didn't have a radio, didn't have a keyboard, didn't have a phone, no tablet, I didn't have nothing. So I went back to that cell. I'm like, you know what, God? I'm out. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going with you, and I'm going to figure the rest out on the way. But at that moment, I knew I had to change.
Okay. Yeah.
But that was my crossroad.
So isn't it always funny how the children always are the ones who really will just snap you back and just make everything even realer than it already is, right? You know, like I shared before, man, when I first fell, I was on the phone with my youngest daughter, and she said something to me. She asked me on the phone, she said, Daddy, where are you? I need you. And at that moment, it's like my whole world re-crumbled. And my heart was rebroken all over again because at that moment I felt like a failure. I was just like, oh my goodness, now I done really done it. Like I done some silly stuff, but this has to be the silliest. You know what I'm saying? Like just to hear my daughter say I need you and me not be able to get to her, right? Absolutely. And so for you, man, when your daughter asked you, when she said, Dad, are you going to be like this forever? What did that spark in you to make you say, okay, listen, I really got to change? And once you decided to change, what did that change look like?
All right, two-part question. One, when she asked me that, the first thing I thought about is not having a father in my house until I was 15 years old. And she's experiencing the same absence. All I can think about was like, because when I got locked up, she was 8 months. So she don't have no memory, no recollection of me and her, no whatsoever. She don't remember when I held her. She sees pictures, but she don't have no understanding of how much I was there.
Yeah.
So it made me melt, right? Now
Hey, so check this out real quick. Just cut you out real quick.
All right.
Well, listen, check this out. I need you to keep that mic close to your mouth so we can hear you clearly.
Okay, can you hear me? Is it good now?
Absolutely. Okay, now go. Keep going.
All right, so the transformation was the hardest transformation because I gave my life to the hood. You know, I was born in the hilltop community. That's all I know. I know sports, like everything that I know was on the hilltop. So my biggest, what is my homeboys going to think of me? Like, what is my OGs going to think of me? What is my young homeboys going to think of me? Like, what is my friends, my guys that I've been doing this with my whole life, what are they going to think of me? And that was the hardest thing.
Yeah.
I had to face it. And so, experience, I'm having a conversation with one of my homeboys, and he made the transformation already. And I'm asking him, like, how do you? You're like, the hood started. He's like, man, I got to do what I got to do. He's older, you know what I mean? So he's not battling the same battle, but he is, and it's different to me. So he's giving me advice, and I'm like, you know what? If I can be who I thought was my enemies and be so aggressive and not, then I got to have the same type of mentality. So I go to the yard, and all my homeboys get together. But I tell them, I'm like, hey, listen, I love you guys, but I can't do this no more. I'm not saying I'm leaving you guys, but I'm saying I have to come leave for a moment, but when I come back, it's going to be different. In order for me to be different, I have to leave first. And that was the first thing. Mind you, when we had that conversation, I told him just to trust me. Like, somebody has to be a sacrifice. So I'm going to sacrifice this right here because this is what kills us. So for a long time, you can see that was looking. Like, do I believe? But see, I don't think I believe he's gonna come back. He's gonna come back thugging with his pants sagging and his flag hanging.
Yeah.
So every time I go to church by myself, I go to Figure Acts meeting by myself, I go to BPC by myself. Everything I was doing, I didn't do it with no homeboys. But eventually, believe me, because every time I seen him, I just take him a hug. Like, hey, look, just my handshake, I'm gonna hug you. We can identify any way possible, but one way I want to relate to you is I want to hug you because that's how much I care.
Yeah.
And at that moment, my transformation, they believed in it, and it gave me enough courage to keep going because finally somebody broke that curse and they was still walking.
Yeah, absolutely. So what it sounds like you just said, basically all summed up is like you know, you gave guys a vision of what it looks like to still be able to be true to yourself, but also make the change and get out of what everybody wants to get out, but they just don't know how to. Which is really important, man, because I remember you talking about, you know, you went to one of your homeboys that had made that transition and you asked him for help and he was able to guide you through it, right? Right? And so which is really important, right? Because the Bible tells us, how can two walk together unless they agree? Because we have to be going in the same direction in order for us to walk together, right? So when you was first, when Bob was like, hey bro, listen, we got this thing called Filthy Rags and I want you to be a part of it. What made you say, hey man, this is really something I need to be a part of?
So how this all even came about, right? I used to host this, I call it a men's group. So in our kiosk, from a little room in the back of the bedroom, I used to hold this men's group, and all we used to do was come back there and have transparent conversations of how to grow. You know what I mean? So I used to come up with like topics every week. Topics. And it wasn't necessarily scripture, but it was. But I didn't stay there. I just was trying to live an example. So we go in here and just, you know, I wanted to grow.
It was crazy, bro, because I remember hearing about this. I remember that. I remember this group. But go ahead. I just want to know what you like, bro. I remember this. Okay, so go ahead.
All right. So mind you, so now I want to grow with people. So I'm telling people, hey, let's go to this kiosk room. Let's grow together. Like, I don't want to do this alone.
Yeah.
And so word got out. He's holding this meeting in the kiosk room, and so then that's when, you know, Fonz is like, hey, bro, I hear you doing this. Mind you, I don't know. So I'm like, yeah, I want to build an entity building. You know what I mean? He's like, well, I got Filthy Rags. And I'm like, well, I got True Foundation. I'm like, well, how about this? Let's do Filthy Rags because it's already jumping. Like, I'm cool with that because at the end of the day, it's for the people. I just want to grow. And then when we came together, we all spoke the same language. We all had the same struggle.
Yeah.
And we all wanted to keep the same place and do the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that's, you know, that's one of the most important things, man. You have to, you know, the hardest thing about cats that's really trying to change, they have to be able to see someone that looks like them and talks like them make that transition, because they know that it's possible, but at times it's like, I don't really think I can do that because of the dedication that they have to who they are and what they originally dedicated themselves to. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's hard for cats, man, to make that transition. So I just want to thank you for almost, you know, not, well, maybe it is a martyr, right? Because you took the step and you was willing to say, hey, listen, I'm going to go ahead and put myself out there because I know this is the right way. And I'm going to be an example not only to you guys, but also to everybody else who thinks that a cat from this lifestyle can't do it, right? That we can change once we put our mind to it, right? And so what I want to ask you is this: how important was it for you to be an example for your children? So you got your kids coming up. So now your kids are growing up, right? And they're in school, and you're parenting the best you can from here, the best that we do. But yet now, how important is it for you to stay out of trouble, to not catch infractions, and not do this and not do that? So you're not a hypocrite when you tell your children, hey, listen, you need to stay out of trouble. Tell us how important that is.
It's everything, because like my stepdad, the one that raised me, right?
Yeah.
He dibbled and dabbled in the street. You know what I mean? He did his thing. And me being from the neighborhood, I see him do some stuff, right? So I'm looking at him like, oh, he's hustling. You the same dude to tell me not to hustle, but you hustling. You the same dude to tell me to not go to the hood. I see you hustling with people that I know in the hood.
You have 1 minute left.
Yeah. So look,
it did make.
So we just got the 1 minute thing. So listen, we're gonna hang up and we're gonna call right back. Jess, can you fade us out and fade us back in real quick, please?
I got you.
Okay, so everybody listen, just hold on. Give us a few minutes and we'll be right back. All right.
BeatStars.com. BeatStars.com. BeatStars.com.
And we're back.
Hey everybody. So just so everybody knows that we are literally behind the wire, live on the wire. You hear me? So thank you for sticking with us through.
Live and direct.
Thank you for sticking with us through our moment of difficulty, because we really doing this from where we doing it from. We ain't sitting in no studio pretending it. You hear me? We literally sitting in the day room getting it in right now. But listen, bro. So back to it, right? So you're seeing what a lot of us see coming up. We're seeing our parents say, hey, listen, do as I say and not as I do. So when you're seeing your stepdad do the things he's telling you not to do, that's where you left off at. What is that doing for you?
Right. So it's a contradiction, because I'm like, you're telling me not to do it, but you're doing it. So why is it cool for you, not cool for me? The only excuse is, the only reason is you're too young. You don't understand. Yeah. I'm like, all right, that's cool too. I'll figure it out later, right? So now my stepdad, he was doing his thing. I was doing my thing. My baby's mom was doing her thing. So now all my kids know is doing their thing. And dad's in prison. Mom's doing their thing. Everybody around them's doing their thing. So all they know is doing their thing. So I'm telling them not to do their thing. So I can't do that thing. So if I do that thing, I'm a contradiction. I'm the same thing that made me question and didn't listen. So I told you, but I always tell them, I said, question everything. If somebody tells you something, it's simply be like, why? Or can you explain, or can you show me? Because you can't always believe everybody. And I was like, even me, hold me accountable. So now, if I do something, you can hold me accountable. And please believe, my daughter is great for that. My daughter's going to be the one to be like, hey, Dad, didn't you tell me this? And you just did that. And, you know, I'm a man of my word. So I'm, you know, I got to stick to it. But it's everything because of how I responded to what I didn't understand.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, man, I appreciate it. Listen, man, I really appreciate that. So listen, so I heard you mention your wife. You said your wife came to see you, right?
Yes. Right.
Explain to everybody, man, what it's like. Because we know that marriage is hard anyway, right? Marriage is hard anyway.
Correct.
But
correct,
to be not only a man, but a young man that's married in prison with 40-some years, like how does one maintain a marriage like that? But then how much is your faith a part of you making it, of you and your wife making it? Like, how does your faith pull you and your wife through the strain that incarceration has on marriages, bro? Come on, listen, bro. I told you we going in. I told you we going there, bro. I told you this, didn't I?
I'm excited, and I told her too. I told her what was going to happen. I'm excited because I promise you this. Everybody that's going to hear it, everybody that's listening, I promise this. I hope you guys can understand what I'm going to say, because I promise you it's the hardest thing to do for me. For guys that come from our demographic, some guys that come from a painful past of never seeing a successful marriage. Like my mom was with my stepdad 20-some years, not married. She's married now, though. Okay. She got married 2012, so she's been with her husband now. However, there's no blueprint, right?
Yeah. It's never too late to get it right.
Exactly. So when you get certain advice, well, my grandpa, and I'm like, hey, you know, that was then. That might not work now. The morals and principles can coexist. However, you have to figure out what works now. So my wife, right, she was 21. I was 24 when we first met.
Okay.
Young. I'm 5 years into my prison sentence. Man, we're young. I'm 5 years into my prison sentence, and all I'm trying to do is get on. I'm trying to be like, man, I don't want to be alone. Once again, who wants to be in prison and don't want a companion, right? So
absolutely.
I meet her, and she's in Spokane, mind you. So I had a decision. I can go to Stafford Creek. I can go to Airwood Heights.
Yeah.
You know what? I chose the homies my whole life. Not this time.
Yeah.
So I went out there. I met her. We had visits. It was good. However, I wasn't taught how to love. I didn't know what love was. I didn't know what sacrifice was. I didn't know what patience was, like nothing, right? So what kept us together is that's my best friend. You're supposed to build a friendship. You're supposed to build a friendship and marry your best friend. Building is the most critical thing. Building is the most critical thing, but that's the most critical thing that we skip, because we're so focused on lust. We're so focused on everything that ain't gonna hold us together because it feels good.
Yeah,
absolutely. It
absolutely.
Good, right. But one thing we don't do is date. We do not date. We wasn't taught to date. We was taught like, hey, let's kick it. Let's go to the movies. Let's go to the bar now. Let's go to the waterfront. Like, let's go kick it. Like, I just want to kick it and spend time with you. But we don't understand that time is precious because it's building something like best friend, right? So in marriage, being incarcerated is so hard because of the limitations that they put on you. Keep your hands on the table.
Absolutely.
Kiss with 3 or 5 seconds. Hug for 3 or 5 seconds. You might be able to go to EFV if you don't have a DV, or if they like you. We'll just say that if they like you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There's different variables. There's different variables that we can go off of for a marriage to not be successful, right?
Yeah.
Then there's a lot.
Absolutely.
Now I'm a tied into faith because, mind you, when I first met my wife, I asked her what did she believe in.
Yeah.
And she asked me a question that I couldn't answer. And look how God worked. So she asked me a question. I'm gonna get to the question. So she asked me a question I could not answer. However,
what's the question?
God answered her. The question was, why do bad things happen to good people? I just don't understand. This is what she's asking me. I don't understand. This is I can't believe, because why do bad things happen to good people? Why do girls get molested?
Hey, bro, that's
why
one of the
innocent people get killed.
That's one of the hardest questions to answer for a person, period, but also as a believer. It's one of those almost impossible questions. But I can't wait to hear what you said. Let me have it.
so look, you know me, I'm trying to pop, and I'm like, let me try to. So then I tell her, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not an intention for bad things to happen to good people. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to answer this question because I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out too, right?
Yeah.
So
you're right. Right.
Let's fast forward. So this is like 2007, 18, 19, somewhere over there, right? So around this time, I'm walking with God. Like I'm studying, I'm starting my day out before I go to work. I pray with my wife. Go to work. You know, this is our routine. She still hasn't given her life to Christ yet at this time, and I'm doing it. I'm being obedient, and so this is not verbatim, Miss Roughly. So we're having a conversation. She was like, "Babe, remember when I asked you this question?" And I was like, "Oh, a lot of bad things happen to good people." And she was like, "Yeah." I was like, Did we figure out the answer? She was like, I don't think we figured out. I don't think that there's a correct answer. I mean, not a correct, but I don't think that there's a specific answer for me that will give me enough reason to believe. However, I understand that it's not God that did it. And I was like,
absolutely.
Hey, that's the answer. God did not allow God. The bad thing that happened was not God. Now, what happens after all things, excuse me.
All things work
come together
to the good for those who love the Lord.
Right? So I tells her.
Right.
I was like, all things work together. And I was like, but it's a process. I was like, and still, I don't know, because I got a brother that's in prison that didn't commit a crime. But he's in prison because he was a sacrifice. So that's another example. So I'm like, I don't know. But one thing I do know is God's going to have his glory. At that moment, she was like, I want to give my life to Christ.
Hey,
so
come on now. Talk to me
now. Christ. Right?
Yeah.
So we had a call with my kids. We're having a conversation stemming from what we was talking about. My kids gave their life to Christ in that same hour. So when we hung up, I was like, oh, baby, how do we pursue forward? And she was like, I don't know. I said, that's faith. Let's just do it. So we just start walking. But mind you, now get back to, now we're at the faith point. It brought us closer. This is my best friend. So it brought us closer. So through all the emotional roller coasters, there, mind you, I'm a runner. And she'll tell you, I'm a runner. Any sign of conflict, this game, I'm out. I don't want to do this. I'm done. And she's like, yeah, whatever. Cool down. Call me back in an hour. We'll figure it out later. But she's my balance. She's everything I'm not. I'm everything she's not. That's what makes us perfect for each other. Just because we're everything each other's not. We don't each other. We complete each other. So everything that we do is with experience, because she don't have no good example of a successful marriage either. However, like I told you, I'm a runner. She's not. Yeah. She's the type about that. We're gonna do this. going to do it.
Yeah.
Mind you,
Yeah.
10 years now. She's into this.
Okay.
Me and her.
Congratulations, bro. Congratulations.
I'm glad we put on the 21st will be 10 years. So
yeah,
like we have conversation to this day where we reflect, and I'll be like, man, all the times in that DLC, the prisons, and like, for example, we was at Airway, they infracted 20 or 30 people and said we was hugging and kissing our significant others for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 seconds, and they was watching it on the clock. It was getting crazy. They suspend our visits for a month at a time. It was getting so crazy to where the visiting room started getting under investigation. However, she didn't budge. I was like, hey, so she's going to leave. And she didn't. There'd be times where I was ready to leave because I thought she was going to leave. And she was like, why are you leaving? I'm not leaving. But the women, now this is a shout out. This is a shout out to all the women. If you're a wife, if you're a girlfriend, the women are the glue. The women are the glue. Mm-hmm. We're the vision, but women are the glue because we are each other's heartbeat, but they have a different fight for us because we're trying to fight for life. We're trying to get out of prison, and they're like, hey, I'm trying to build a home so when you get out of prison, you have a home to come home to. Like and this is speaking for my wife too. They're the glue. It's the hardest thing because there's no blueprint. Our thing is, hey, I'm gonna get back on the website. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get this other female. I'm gonna do all of this extracurricular activities that's detrimental to a marriage or your best friend. Because we're in prison, we're trying to survive. This is our way to justify our wrongdoings. Hey, I'm just trying to survive. But then at the end of the day. Go ahead.
So even with something like that, right? When you have a woman that's fighting for you and fighting for your marriage, right, and fighting for her family, right, and you say, okay, listen, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get on the website, meet somebody, and I'm gonna try to, finesse them to ease the burden on you. We never think what that makes that woman feel like, because all we thinking about is the money aspect of it, and I'm gonna ease the burden on my family. But it's more than that because the wife is like, hey, why are you trying to make an emotional connection with somebody else? And you're thinking like, I'm just about to get on here. I'm just about to pop it. I'm just about to run this game at her, and she's about to eat it up. And your wife is like, yo, you're committing emotional adultery. And you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Right?
And so I commend every single woman that is married, period.
Absolutely.
If you're married to a man that's incarcerated and you are fighting tooth and nail for your marriage, like you are, as Angela Maya said, a phenomenal woman. Right? You're a completely phenomenal woman. But
absolutely,
this being the ministry, let's go ahead and take this thing back to the word, because if you read Proverbs 31, it tells you what.
Stop it.
It tells you what that woman is going to do, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What a virtuous woman is, right? And to sum up Psalm 31, for those who have not read it, once you get past starting at about verse 10, because in the beginning, King Lemuel, who is also King Solomon, his mother is talking to him. But then after you get to verse 10, his mother begins to explain to him what a good woman is. This is what a good woman does. And a good woman is the glue. The good woman builds her home, and she works, and she builds her home, and she teaches her children. Everything that you have explained to me about your wife says, before she even knew she wanted to give her life to the Lord, before she even wanted to, walk the path that she has chose, she was already in that, and God was already training her up for that. So my man, you got a good one.
Absolutely,
you got a good one, yo. You definitely have a woman.
It's crazy, the Proverbs 31, right? And I was when I first came across it, I was looking at it like, oh, that's good game. So I was like, hey, baby, read that, right? from a perspective of that's what I want my wife to be. But then now coming into it, once you dissect the word and dissect that everything that Solomon is getting taught, it tells you everything. It differentiates who you want from who you don't want, who you give your time to, who you don't give your time to, who you invest in and who you don't invest in. And to piggyback on the emotional connection, it took me years to understand that that's a version of cheating still. It's an emotional connection.
Absolutely.
It's deeper than sex.
Absolutely it is. Right?
Absolutely.
Because,
I agree.
So for those who do understand and those who don't understand, and coming from prison, and when you meet a woman, that's what we do. We have to make strong emotional connections, because really because like my man said earlier, we can only kiss a woman for 3 to 5 seconds. We can only hold your hand for 3 to 5 seconds. So our physical connection is
absolutely
almost impossible.
Absolutely.
So we have to mentally and emotionally connect, right? And that's the most important thing, right? That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Listen though. So Filthy Rags has formed an alliance with Ellison Coaching and Counseling, right?
Yes.
With you being the creator of the concept of closing the gap, when you had this idea, did this concept come from something that you felt like you needed in your life, or was it something you like, or did you just have the idea like, you know what, I need this, so I know there's somebody else out there that needs this. So hold on to that thought, because that lady that came on here again, right? Like I said earlier, man. Come on, man. We're really behind the wire, live on the wire.
1 minute left.
So just listen, I need you to fade us out, and we coming right back in about a minute, okay?
Sounds good.
And listen, hold that thought. We'll be right back.
The caller has hung up.
All right.
Hey, everybody, we back. Sorry for the minor difficulties that we have. Listen, LG, big fella, you with me?
Yes.
So listen,
I'm with you. I'm here.
The whole concept of closing the gap, which is an amazing concept, and it's an amazing program. So, like I was saying before the break, man, is this concept from something that you realize you needed and everybody could benefit from, or how did this thing come about, man? Tell us about this.
So, man, first shout out to my kids, because this is where it came from. It's for them to buy them. You know, Deontay Holmes Davenport, Cashmere Holmes Davenport. It's like I said, when I got locked up, my daughter was 8 months, my son was 19 months. So everything about our relationship was just trial and error, trying to figure it out. And I understood that sometimes that they might not respect me as much as father, because they felt like I gave them up and I didn't care enough and I committed a crime. So I had to be their best friends most of the time, and I had to learn how to work that. There'll be times where, you know, we do homework on the phone, you know, math. I used to be great at math, and they have to teach me a new way of doing their math. So, you know, we just went through a lot of different channels of trying to figure out how we can build a strong relationship as a father with two kids. And so there was a time. So this is where it came from. There was a time where I called the kids, and it was a whole bunch of it was a circus going on. So their mom gets on the phone and was like, "Hey, it's just going crazy. Cashmere's doing this, Deontay's doing this. It's a whole bunch of." And I was like, "Hey, listen, I need you to understand something. That it's a deep-rooted issue. Their father's in prison, and their mom is running the street. So it's something deeper why they're acting out." So what I did, I separated all three of them, and I had 3 separate conversations, 1 phone call apiece. I told both of the kids, I said, "I need you to be extremely transparent, even if it hurt my feelings. I need you to get it out. Anything, disappointment, any pain, any confusion, anything, I need you to get it out, because this is what's going to help us rebuild this. You have all right to feel how you're supposed to feel, or how you feel, because you're the kid." And so they see it. Well, Dad, I feel like You didn't care enough, and you did this. You left us, rightfully so. I feel like mom don't love us enough to get off the streets. Like, so they start going into a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm listening like, man, these kids got a lot of stuff that's built up. So then I had a conversation with their mom, and she was letting a lot of stuff out. When you was out, you was running the streets and doing it. So she's letting it out, and then I started letting it out, and then we came together, and everything that was let out, we put on the table, and we all looked at the gumbo pot. It was like, this is the issue. We have to heal from that. So when I told Adair this, I'm like, hey, this is a thing that is so important because I just had to wing it. I had to figure it out because one thing I didn't want my kids to do was do what I did and just leave. Hit the streets and never came back. Never been the same since. Yeah. So I was like, hey, how can we come up with something so that they can heal before they kill? Because one thing I don't want them to do is kill their destiny before they was destined. I don't want them to give it up because my son is one decision away. My daughter's one decision. All it takes is one decision. Just like me. Absolutely. I've been in prison ever since I made that bad decision. And so, mind you, there's still a lot of stuff going on with the kids and their mom. It's a work in progress because it's a healing process, ongoing. Yeah. Yet and still, if I go through it, I know you may go through it. I know that there's the whole DOC in the state of Washington that has kids that's been incarcerated. Their kids love them because of the love. But they don't understand sometimes, like, Dad, I need you and you can't even be here for me. That's the hardest thing for a father. Come on, man. That's the hardest thing for a father, for a kid to be like, hey, Dad, it's easy for my kids to be like, Dad, let me get $50, let me get $100, let me get a PlayStation. That's easy. Yeah. Hey, baby, handle that for the kids. Dude, that's the easy part. The hardest part is to walk up to that kid 7 days out the week, all 24 hours and hug the kid. When the kid's crying, wipe the kid's tears. When the kid is scraped their knee, put some rubbing alcohol and put a Band-Aid on it. Like, we can't do that. And that kid feels empty. So it's like, what can we do for that kid to heal? Because it's about that kid. If that kid don't heal, that curse is going to go on. And then when they have kids, that experience, that pain is going to be perpetuated into a whole nother generation just because we was in prison. But that's where the whole concept came from.
Okay. So look, I want everybody that's listening to my man right now understand what he just said. Like, we as fathers go through it, just like every single man that's on the street that might have this preconceived notion in their mind that we don't, that we're incapable or we don't love because of the decisions that we made, because of the situation that we put ourselves in. But it's not true. It's not true. It is so not true. Right? We just made a bad decision with detrimental consequences. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody makes bad decisions, but some people's decisions have way worse consequences than others, right? And one more thing before we go, bro. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. Tell me what you got to say.
No. And this is about consequences, right?
Mm-hmm.
We made a mistake, but I'm not my mistake. I just made one. I am not bad.
Absolutely not.
It shows in our walk, though. It's just a mistake. I'm not my mistake. I just wanted to add that. I'm feeling it resonate in my spirit.
So listen. So back in the very beginning, when we first started talking about this conversation, man, you mentioned truth, right?
True.
Man, what's up with truth?
Yeah.
What's up with it, man? True. What's up with it, bro?
True. Man, we joined back popping. We just reestablished.
So listen, for everybody who don't know, real quick, what does truth stand for?
It's to reach you through him and to reach you through her. Okay. So the concept comes from this. I have a testimony. You have a testimony.
Yeah.
I want to be able to bridge the gap with my testimony. So the only way God can reach these kids is through me. The only way God can reach these kids is through you. So he's going to reach through us to the kids, to reach you through him. Now, however, there's a to reach you through her. It's the same concept. However, the reason why we even came up with the aspect of to reach you through her is because some women, before I say that, all women have a testimony.
Absolutely.
Only some women use their voice. Only some women, only some women use their voice, though. They don't feel like, some women don't want to get in front of a crowd of people and want to tell their testimony, let alone be in a room with 5 to 10 or even one kid and give that testimony. Like, it's like I told my wife a long time ago, I said, hey, your experience is somebody else's experience. However, you can stop it from the wisdom from your experience given to somebody else in the same experience that you experienced when you was a kid. So use your testimony. That's why you got it. We were saved by the word of our testimony, by the blood of the Lamb. However, we have to use our testimony. So that's why the hurt comes into it, because we can't leave the glue out. The glue has to speak too. The virtuous woman has a voice too. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah. You know, so for everybody out there, you know, the power of a testimony is this. This is the power of a testimony. There's somebody out there who's going through something, and they think that they're alone in what they're going through. But you having the courage to share what it is you've been through is going to help someone else get free. That's the importance of it. Because I know that there was probably a point where you thought you were alone in going through what you like. Ain't nobody that went through what I went through, because this has been crazy. Yeah. There's somebody else out there who feels the exact same way, and they don't have, you know, they haven't come to that point in their life where they have as much courage as you do. So, you know, and you know, the thing with being courageous is, man, sometimes your courage is not only for you, but it's for somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the thing about being courageous, man. That's the thing about being courageous. So listen, man, we coming down to the end of this thing, because, you know, we getting near that day room close time. We getting near that time. Listen, y'all, we really behind the wire, man. We really behind the wire, live on the wire. So listen, bro. Listen, I love you, man, and I appreciate your transparency, man.
Likewise.
Listen, bro, I appreciate everything that you shared with us today. Listen, y'all, this is the impact. This is the impact, and what we do is making an impact, man. And you know, we're at that time where, you know, the one and only Jessica got to do what she do. But if what we do makes an impact on you, please share that with us so we can know how what we're doing is really reaching and affecting the people. Because what you think and what you say matters to us. Jessica, come on with it.
Absolutely.
Come on.
That's definitely true. We want you to hop on our website, filthyregsoutreach.org. Share some comments on our Facebook and YouTube. We're live right now, but the replay will be available as soon as we're done with this podcast. Let us know you're listening. Send us an email, info@filthyregsoutreach.org. And as always, donations are tax deductible if you decide to donate. Hit us up. Man, tonight was good though. Wait, hold up. Before you close out, that was really good, LG. You know, me being married to an incarcerated person, like I was like dialed in and focused, and man, you got it. That's so true. So true. The physical is not there, but the emotional is unlike anything I've ever experienced. And that's, you know, but it's hard.
It's not easy, but I promise that once you build your friendship and then you marry your best friend, the dynamic of that marriage is going to be completely different. Rather than meeting a woman, meeting a man, you guys cool, the attraction's there, you like him, he likes her, all the good stuff, and then we just get married. Like, that's modern day, but marry your best friend. That's what it's about. Yeah. So we can be life partners.
For sure.
Absolutely.
And these circumstances allow us to do it that way too.
Yeah. Okay, well, listen, everybody. I don't mean to cut anybody off, but it is that time. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning into the Impact tonight. LG, appreciate you, baby.
Thank you.
I appreciate you, man. Love you, bro.
Thank you for having me. Listen, man. Love you too, likewise.
Listen, Tell your wife to keep being the phenomenal, strong woman that she is. I can't wait to meet her. I just want to give her a hug. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I really want to give her a hug and just congratulate her for being who she is, man. Yeah, I really do.
Her voice,
I really do, man.
Yeah, her voice is so powerful. You gonna visually hear her, man. She's something else. You think I got some? Wait till you hear her.
Well, listen, y'all. We got to get out of here, man. Listen, tune in next week. I don't even really know what we got for y'all next week, but listen, you don't want to miss it. I promise you that. Listen, hey, man.
Yeah,
I love y'all, man. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
This is The Impact. We're out of here.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Troll.